And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Lads, I don't know what film you were watching, but it wasn't the same film I saw.
I'm all the man you need, Mark.
Yeah, I was pretty shocked and appalled.
So I'll bring it up, Ted.
It wasn't a very good movie. I laughed at it more than I laughed at The Possession.
Good evening and welcome to Is It a Bicycle? Season 9, Episode 8, the original and bestest ever TV and movie podcast. My name is Stephen Wrigley and I'll be your host for this evening. Beside me, a man who's got more clap than a theatre. It's Mike McDonough. Later on, live from Vegas, we'll have a man who we call the chicken coop, because cocks fly in and out all day. It's Sean Leonard. And in the red corner, over there, it's our cuddly killer, a man who says that according to his neighbour's diary, he has boundary issues. It's Mark Leonard. This week, we'll be discussing some movies in the shape of Straight Outta Compton and Agent 47, and some TV in the form of Significant Mother. What a pun. What a great pun. I've also some news and some previews in Coming to a Bicycle near you. So how are we doing?
Fantastic, Steve.
Good. Just fantastic. Yeah. What you been up to this week? Mark, any stories for us?
Well, I really can't complain, Steve. So as you're aware, I've been doing a bit of dieting.
I'm just looking at you there. You're looking thin there, all right.
Yeah,
I'm fucking thin, all right.
Since you lost
So
the weight as well. Yeah.
I've dropped to just 50 grams of carbs a day.
Oh, Jesus.
50
You
grams,
get that
right?
in effect
So
in
let me
North
break that down for you, right?
Slice of toast.
Well, if you have a slice of toast, that's 16 grams of carbs and you're already in trouble, because that probably means you can't have vegetables. So I would like to have something delicious like toast, but if I do, then I won't have vegetables. And if I don't have vegetables, without their nutrients, I might die.
It's true.
So you're getting like I had too many carbs yesterday because I had too much broccoli. That's how shit my life is at the minute. But yeah. So apart from but let me tell you about the greatest day ever.
Tell us.
My refeed day on Saturday. I was allowed 3,000 calories for the day and mostly carbs. So I'm on like 10% carbs in the minute. When you push that needle up to 60%, then just everything is so happy. I was eating bagels, potatoes. I took a bath in some pasta. It was just brilliant.
Nice.
But that seems quite a long way away. So at the time of this recording, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of days between me and my next refeed day on Saturday.
Tell me, how does brown rice work out in the carb front?
Yeah, it's got about 70 grams of carb per 100 grams, so you're not going
Yeah.
to go next 9 or near that when you're doing what
Yeah,
I'm
and I was
doing.
just wondering, as opposed to normal pasta, rice pasta, if it would be any better.
Well, it is better. It takes longer to digest. It's a complex carb.
Yeah.
So if you're low carb, say,
Yeah.
then you're better off with something like that. That'll take longer to digest and move through the system, and it'll keep you fuller for longer than like white rice, which is closer to sugar.
That's a filler. Yeah.
So do you find often thinking homicidal thoughts about your fellow man on this diet?
A little bit, yeah, every so often. Do you know what you get from it as well? Is you can't concentrate. Attention span is shot to shit completely. And there's a term for it. Oh, I'll never remember it now in time for this podcast to make sense. But it's something like some kind of mental fog anyway that you get where you just don't think good
Right.
and struggle to do other mental things good either.
Right.
And apparently that's like if you do it for a long time, if you do like a month or two, which is not what I'm going for, but I might be doing a month. Apparently that sticks around for like weeks afterwards. So you're still dumb and you have to relearn to do stuff good. So yeah. So
I think
I
there's
guess-
a whole new podcast in this, you know.
all things considered, I'm okay.
Very good. Very good. So did you get to TV watching this week? Are you up to date on things like Celebrity Big Brother and other favourites of yours?
Thank you, Steve. I knew
Yeah.
there was something that absolutely, positively
God damn it,
must be
Steve.
talked about on this podcast, and you reminded me. Thank you. Right, let me break it down for you, everybody. we have America versus the UK. USA versus UK is the theme of this Celebrity Big Brother. There's a theory abounding that that's because they can't get Brits to go into Celebrity Big Brother anymore because it's not popular enough or doesn't pay as well. But they seem to be able to get Americans that bit easier. I don't know why.
Right. Yeah.
So, man, there's some amount of tension in that house, let me tell you. But so let me see who's notable that's in there. One of the Baldwins is in there. Is it Daniel Baldwin, maybe?
A random Baldwin I hear, yeah.
Random Baldwin is in there. One a girl from Atomic Kitten, a former children's presenter that has gone bald.
And 3 porn stars, isn't that right?
So Jenna Jameson is in there.
No way.
Yeah.
Not just any porn star, one of the most famous female porn stars in the world, despite her retirement. Although she did say she'd come out of it for you, Mike.
Good girl, Janet.
You put most of her kids through college, she feels like she owes you. But wasn't she married to Tito Ortiz at one stage?
I was trying to remember the other day. Was it Dennis Rodman or Tito Ortiz, or was it
both of them?
Or was
Both
it
of them,
Jesse
I think.
James?
Not at the same time.
Was it
although
Jesse
that would be
James as
totally
well?
in keeping with her
I'm not
lifestyle,
sure.
I guess.
Allegedly, I have to follow that up, but because I can't remember. Yeah, there were a few in there, all right. Yeah,
Yeah, you just go Google Jenna Jameson.
yeah. But what's her name is in there? You know the girl who didn't have a sex tape, so she hired a porn actor to come and make a sex tape with her. Farrah, what's her face? The MTV
Farrah,
girl.
oh man, she's dangerous.
Yeah.
She's like girl poison.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, like if Poison was a girl, it would be her.
Yeah.
And do you know these people that are so spoiled that, and Janice Dickinson went in as well with Bobby Davro. Janice Dickinson is another person exactly like this. They're so used to getting their own way that they believe their own bullshit.
As in Bruce Dickinson?
No, Janice Dickinson.
No relation, no. I don't know who she is. Who is she?
The original supermodel, Steve.
Jeez, I'm going to have to do a bit of Googling. Hang on a second. Okay,
No, she's old now. She's a bit past it now. But
yeah, but
she
was.
she is. I think legitimately she is a big deal, like Janice Dickinson.
Oh, Jesus.
Is this before or after Bo Derek?
Look, I tell you what, you take that up
her.
with Janice
Yeah.
Dickinson.
Okay? Right, yeah. Now I remember. Yeah.
You would have seen her in I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, Janice Dickinson Modelling Agency. I think she might have been involved in a season of America's Next Top Model. I'm not sure about that one. But she's been on our TV screens a lot.
She's out, you know.
How do you mean out?
She's out of the house.
Are you after spoiling something for me?
Oh,
No, surely not. But you're the man who knows about this stuff.
I watch it when it's on TV. News from the
I
house
ruined
comes
tonight's
out
episode,
as it
sorry.
happens.
Sorry,
So I'm always a day
I've ruined it,
behind,
sorry.
just like most standard viewers.
Yeah, I've spoiled tonight's one, sorry.
Fuck you, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Steve. Oh my God. You used to be cool, man.
Okay, do you want to know why she's gone out?
Well, can I guess?
Yeah.
Did she got a warning last night for spitting at somebody. Did she do something overtly aggressive again?
No, nothing like that, no.
Oh, really?
No, it's emergency medical treatment, apparently.
All right, is her nose melting or? Sorry.
So anyway,
it's a safe bet, like.
there's one last one, Tila Tequila, or
Oh, yeah.
she's another sex tape girl, isn't she?
Yes, but she was a former porn actress. But she actually did
there we
get
go.
kicked
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Oh, she's
She's a sensation on Instagram. But she made the ill-advised decision of posing in front of Auschwitz wearing a Nazi armband holding a gun.
She did the Hitler thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and nobody noticed this until she went in the house.
Right.
And the people, the now fired researchers, turned it up. And when they did, they immediately called her to the diary room and said, listen, you're kind of a Nazi.
Oh dear, look at that.
And they're so not cool right now.
Oh dear, man.
So she was given the heave-ho. Yeah, that's the picture.
Mm-hmm.
She's quite fetching, like, but it doesn't distract from the swastika.
But seriously, what were her management team thinking? Yeah. This sounds like a good idea.
She looks a bit short for the master race, is she?
But apparently she's one of the people that made Instagram a big deal.
Okay.
Oh, right. Oh, it says here that she's threatening a suit and she's negotiating a return. It says TMZ.com.
Actually, speaking
Can't
of
see
porn,
it. Cannot see it.
did you hear about Cheryl insert this week's surname Cole?
No.
So, somebody put together an existing porn tape with her face superimposed,
Oh, dear.
and it went viral. And apparently, she's really unhappy about it.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
It's probably not really the image she was trying to
No.
portray. Should probably just do a real one. Get that shit over with.
You'll keep trolling the internet till it happens. Let me see what else is on this week. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. I have to talk about this. Narcos.
Narcotraficantes.
Narcos, about Pablo Escobar. It was released last Friday, I think it was, on Netflix. And this is a story that I've been, dying to see, sort of made and televised and, visualized. Because it's such a crazy story. And
Is he a hero of yours, Steve?
no, it's just like no more than Noriega is, that kind of way. And it's not a hero. It's just more sort of it's an interesting story. It's a crazy story that it actually happened. It's perfect for a movie. But anyway, it follows the beginnings and the rise and the successes and the disputes and all the rest of it mixed up, and it also follows two DEA agents who the main protagonist is the guy who gives a bit of a voiceover on, which is great actually, and then it goes on to the rest. You can wiki if you want to find out what the rest of the story is, and those who are watching it, I don't want to spoil it. By the way, Titanic sunk. Did you know that?
No way.
So anyway, so it's amazing. It's just incredible how many people he had paid off in Colombia. It's just it's ridiculous.
Was it you that was telling me that he used to have to bury money because he had nowhere else to put it?
He had so much cash, he had to bury it, and not in just one place, in many places. That's how, like they sort of approached him and said, "Look, man, you're going to start drawing attention to yourself. You've got like 600 houses here and 600 in the US, and the cars and the boats and the planes, and literally a fleet of planes. And you bought this island in the Bahamas
and the fucking hippos.
And you've got hippos out the back along with the rest of your zoo and all the rest of it. So you're going to have to start. So he started burying it, literally. Yeah, it's absolutely nuts.
It's probably still out there,
I'd say some of it might be.
Yeah.
Although they had a map, but the guy who had the map was arrested.
Yeah.
Blackbeard. Yeah. But anyway, listen, it's so well produced and it's so well made. It's just brilliant. In fact, the producer, what's his name? Jose Padilla, Brazilian guy. He made a couple of movies in the past. One you might have heard of, Mark, called the remake of RoboCop last year. He also did two movies which are huge in Brazil, which was Elite Squad and Elite Squad. What was the name of it? The remake. The Enemy Within. It was all about corrupt cops in Brazil, and he was sort of forced out of Brazil afterwards by corrupt cops, essentially, and they attacked the studios and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, the star of the Elite Squad is the guy who's the star of Narcos.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's brilliant as well.
Wow.
Yeah, his name is Wagner Moura, and he's also Brazilian actually. But the likeness is pretty good actually. But anyway, it's a brilliant story. It's not your usual drug drama because it's got so many elements to it. I loved it, and I shot through it. I finished season 1 already.
Is it a big season, Steve? Is it 22?
It's 10.
10.
10 50-minute episodes, yeah.
And it has more going on. Do you mean they deal with multiple drugs in this drugorama?
Well, you see, it's not just his association with other traffickers to get the cartel formed, nor just his sort of interaction with the DEA and his avoidance of, nor the fact that he became a congressman, nor the fact that they're dealing with his family and his background. But there's also things like he extradition, he had it abolished in Colombia. There's this kind of thing. Then he negotiated with the government and he built his own prison, and this kind of thing. It's just crazy. It's crazy. But it also goes into all the good that he did. He had so much money that he was building houses for the poor, hundreds of houses. He actually offered to clear the Colombian national debt, this kind of thing, it's just ridiculous how much money this guy had. But anyway, it's well worth a watch. I couldn't recommend it higher. Actually, on IMDb, it's 9.3. So it's not
high praise indeed.
Not just me. Yeah. Did you get to see any of this?
I saw the first episode.
Yeah.
And I'd have to concur with almost everything you said. Really, really enjoyed it. Definitely going to follow up on it. Only one little thing that annoyed me was the voiceover.
Really?
For the single reason that it's killing the tension.
Oh.
Because at one point, Pablo puts a bounty on DEA agents.
Yeah.
So you're thinking, oh shit.
Yeah.
But then you think, hang on, he's doing the voiceover. He obviously survived.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
Yeah.
But that's a minor quibble. Other than that,
yeah.
I really enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah. The voiceover does add to it, I'd say later on anyway, for sure. Yeah. I can't remember how it did that in episode 1, but anyway, later on it's great. It moves the story along and fills in details that you might not have seen or why they're doing stuff. So yeah. So anyway, highly recommend it. Actually, a Colombian guy that we all know is mad for this series. So
taking him back to the old days, yeah.
Victor. Yeah. So I was talking to him about it yesterday. Yeah. And he was like,
our good old friend Victor, okay.
Yeah. And he was like, oh my goodness, yeah, that sounds brilliant. Yeah, so he's all typed about it. But anyway.
It's not subtitled, right? It's in English.
It's both.
Explain.
It's in English and in Spanish. Yeah.
Is the English dubbed?
No.
Is the Spanish dubbed?
No.
How did they accomplish this?
Well,
do they put the two tracks over the top of each other?
No, there is subtitles, but it's only over the Spanish dialogue.
What percentage, say, of said Spanish is there?
Oh, I don't know.
Episode 1 is probably 70%, but I'd say it changes as the focus moves to America later on.
Yeah.
No, I'm out, Mike. I'm out.
That's only episode 1, man.
70% though.
I think you should give episode 1 a go. I think you'd be hooked.
Well, I'll watch 30% of it, but how will I know? Could you edit out the bits you have to read?
But in your current mental fog, you probably won't even notice. So just go with it.
I certainly won't have to read that fast. No, what did that guy say? Why are they always on speed?
Only 4 more days till Saturday.
Do you see anything else this week?
Nothing really of interest.
Yeah.
No, I watched some crap, but it's not even worth mentioning.
Oh, okay, grand. Okay, let's go to news. So, do you remember that movie we looked at the preview for called We Are Your Friends a few weeks ago? Oh, about a month ago. Zac Efron's new dance movie where they're DJs in LA.
Oh God, no.
Do you remember that? No? And it's all like pool parties and stuff like that.
I think I erased that from my mind.
Yeah. Well, it has bombed in both the US and Canada with one of the worst opening weekends on record ever.
Okay, right.
I think it's second, to being worst. Yeah. It was shown in 2,333 cinemas and had takings of 1.8 million.
Ooh.
Or just $758 per screen. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's it's the third worst opening for a movie, for a new movie, opening in 2,000 or more theaters of all time. Yeah.
That's pretty elite company.
Hate that. Yeah. Also wanted to mention Wes Craven.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he died during the week, which is terribly sad. Friday 13th being his legendary one.
Yeah.
He wrote that as well, didn't he?
No.
I think he did, yeah. And the first 4 screens. So, yeah.
Well,
fan
like
of
that's
his?
the end of his life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be undead now,
Yeah.
I presume.
I don't know. Were you a big fan of his?
I liked some of his stuff. I'm trying to think. Was he Nightcrawler? Or was that him? Like the original before the Jake Gyllenhaal remake?
I don't recall.
Hang on, didn't he do Freddy as well?
He did, I think. Yeah.
Freddy.
Nightmare on Elm Street was him. Yeah.
And Friday the 13th, was that it?
No, I'm pretty sure he did Nightmare on Elm Street, didn't he?
Yeah. Anyway.
He was a horror visionary anyway, suffice
For
it to
sure,
say.
yeah. He got Meryl Streep one of her Oscars as well, I believe. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Can't remember what the name of the
can't
movie was.
imagine
but-
those two ever
I
coming
know, yeah.
together anymore.
I was like, really?
Yeah.
What else in the news this week? Heroes. Mark. Heroes Reborn.
One of my favorite TV shows. If only Tim Creed could pull off a climax.
It's about to be reborn.
A man with the most unsatisfied partners, I would say.
There's going to be an epic 13-episode event series that chronicles the lives of ordinary people who discovered they possess extraordinary abilities. Ooh. So 13
I
new
love
superheroes.
when it's extraordinary.
I'm all a quiver with excitement.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that, AJ.
Yeah. You bollocks.
Well, speaking of bollocks,
Is the
AJ
original,
actually said-
are the original writers involved?
yes, I believe so.
Who's the showrunner?
Don't know.
So here's what I think, right?
Sure,
I'm going to
quick.
lay it out for you. This is how this show is a success.
I'll find out while you're talking there, yeah.
You bring back the original writers to set everything up because they created some really memorable characters, right? Like Sylar, for example, brilliant. Hiro Nakamura, brilliant character.
Oh, yeah. He was actually, yeah.
They were all really good characters, right? But could not do a satisfying season climax and then completely lost their way. So different showrunner, same concept writers.
Tim Kring.
Sorry, that's the word I was trying to say. That's the same guy. So it's the same guy.
Yeah.
So it's the same guy.
Yeah, same guy. Yep,
That's a disappointed look.
it is.
Yeah.
You know about what they say about the mistakes of history?
Tell us, Mark.
Those who do not learn from them are doomed to repeat them. There's another saying about crazy people. Crazy people are people who do the same thing over and over and expect different results.
Oh, yes.
Actually, I just had a flashback now. The last time I saw that face was at your wedding when I gave Mark directions to get to the place, which he was singularly unable to follow. And when he eventually arrived 3 hours later, he had that kind of look on his face. And then he leg kicked me.
Very, very hard. As hard as your directions deserved, in fact. But what's probably seemed like completely stellar directions to someone who had 8 drinks at least in at that stage.
That was.
When-
I remember he ruined the wedding. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, The speakers and stuff.
That was the day before the wedding.
He made an awful state of himself. Yeah.
Yeah. Last item in the news. Robbie and Amanda are avid listeners. I've been asked to tell them that they're bastards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's it. Yeah. So that's
Okay.
news today. Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. Yeah. So next up, okay, we're going to talk about the first of our movies, Straight Outta Compton. Yeah. So Straight Outta Compton, as no doubt everyone knows by now, is about NWA. It's about when NWA emerged from the mean streets of Compton,
Stephen.
neighborhood in LA. Yes, dude.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is NWA?
It means niggas with attitude. They are a hip hop band who came up in the what did I say?
80s.
Mid 80s, and they are made up of Dr. Dre, who you may know of, Ice Cube, you may also may know of, Eazy-E, who you may have heard of. Not sure if you do or not. And there's who else is in there?
Was one of them in the
NC.
original Fast and Furious?
Oh, is Ice Cube in it? Maybe. Yeah,
No
maybe he
idea.
was. I know you might have seen him in Friday all right. That was a movie that he wrote, actually, but he starred in that. And he's been in several other movies. I can't remember the names off the top of my head now. But yeah, quite famous dudes, quite successful dudes. The Beats headphones?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stray as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he sell them for like $60,000 billion?
Oh, yeah,
or something?
and sold 60,000 billion of them as well, yeah. And who else was there? Oh, he signed a deal last year, I think, with... Actually, maybe I better not speculate.
Step away from the
now that
lawyers.
I've seen the movie. Yeah, so they revolutionized the hip-hop culture, and they sort of brought to the mainstream stories from the hood, the reality of what was going on, and the
Cussing.
persecution by authorities and racism and so on and so forth. So this chronicles their rise and fall or whatever in their journey. Yeah. So.
Say yeah.
So what made them different was that they were newfangled rap. Because you'd had rap and hip hop and it was all kind of nice and a bit sort of, pink and yellow.
Okay.
And then these guys sort of started to voice the reality of what was happening and didn't give a fuck, man.
Yeah.
And so this starts off giving a background on the roots, shows, like I said, the rise to fame, the excesses. Some of the members weren't okay with them, like Dre found them a bit, man, you might have calmed down there a bit. The disputes, the exploitation, the racism, as I said, the pushback from middle America, good death rap, this kind of thing. The successes and the splits and so on. So they had a budget of 28 million, and they've made 154 million so far.
Good job.
Yeah. So this stars O'Shea Jackson Jr., who is Ice Cube's son, and he plays Ice Cube, and he looks exactly like Ice Cube.
Okay.
It's incredible, actually. How like he is. Corey Hawkins plays Dre. Jason Mitchell plays Eazy-E. Both of them brilliant. Then there's Neil Brown Jr. and of course Paul Giamatti. In this too. Yeah. So what you think?
Say yeah.
This was a movie I really wasn't looking forward to seeing.
I know.
Because
You're giving out yards about it.
Yeah, I don't enjoy the music.
Yeah.
So I don't have any connection.
It's gonna be another Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. Cribs and bitches and hoes.
You must have liked the opening though.
Yeah. I mean, as I said to you, if they even did a cover of Merle Haggard or something, it'd be something. Wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
But I put my prejudice aside.
Yeah.
I said I'll be a professional reviewer. I'm going to be sitting here examining this without. Did I say prejudice?
Prejudice,
already?
You said it already, yep.
Yeah, okay, fuck that. Yeah. Steve's going to be editing tonight.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And for the first 40 minutes or so,
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought the acting was really good. I thought the sense of time and place was really good. And I liked the way it was shot to a large extent. So, up to that point, coolio. You got me sold. But then it started to drag. Really, really drag.
Pushing or dragging?
And I can see why hang on, Americanism here. I can see why it drug. Because the people they're making this for, obviously love the music and want to hear the music.
Yeah.
But they put in track after track after track.
Yeah.
And for me, that's just a wasted 3 minutes.
Right.
So I'm sitting there waiting for the story to continue.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Because I was going, oh yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was around the right time. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, because they had timelined it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they came out of. Yeah, but I get it. If you weren't familiar with them, you're sort of going, another tune.
Yeah. It's
for sure,
like watching Gilbert and Sullivan.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly. Yeah,
Get to the point. Lads.
Yeah.
And after that started happening, then I started thinking to myself, well, actually, what's going on here? Where's the drama? And basically, they have this backdrop of the LA riots and whatever. I thought, okay, that might be interesting.
Rodney King.
But they weren't really involved.
But it's like in their, not their exact. Well, it would have been part of their neighbourhood, but it's South Central.
Yeah. But I thought if you're bringing this in, either they should be, front and center in the protests throwing bottles and shit.
Okay.
Or maybe they wrote the anthem for the riots.
Right, okay.
But I don't, maybe I missed it, but I didn't get the impression that they were like the focal point for the resistance,
No,
shall we say.
they certainly weren't, no.
So
No,
it's,
but I think that was more sort of like I'm just devil's advocate here. Right?
Okay.
But I think that was just more of a backdrop of their lives. And we'd seen already the oppression that they got. You can't just come over here and do this to people just because they look like that, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And that was exactly what that was sort of portraying, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, I get that it's giving a flavour of the times that we're living in and whatever.
Yeah.
But it didn't do a whole lot for driving the story forward.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then...
I agree with you there, yeah.
Like the central conflict, really, that they bring into the story is contractual.
Yeah.
And I thought they did a really poor job of putting any tension into that.
Yeah.
Just basically, they'd mention it now and then they'd forget about it for 20 minutes while they go off and start a riot in Detroit or something.
Yeah.
And then it's mentioned again.
Yeah.
And then forget about it. And then half an hour later, oh yeah, we're really pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Let's split up.
Yeah.
I
thought it was kind of loosely defined as well. I know what he's kind of getting upset about, but it wasn't quite that.
Yeah.
I wasn't black and white on exactly what they were disputing over.
I mean,
it's always going to be money, but
if they were, if they were going to go that direction,
Yeah.
they should have really taken it by the throat.
Yeah.
I'm not saying turn it into a courtroom drama, but focus on it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to say, they're going to try and fit in a whole lot into this movie. Some have even suggested they could have made it a trilogy.
Maybe.
With the background,
and how many
the
albums
middle story,
they had,
and the whole bit at the end. So.
Yeah.
But I guess they kind of had to skirt some stuff. But
yeah.
Anyway, no, I agree. It would be nice to have seen that. But yeah.
And the ending. This isn't entirely a fair criticism, because you're always limited with real life stories by the actual history. You can't just.
Well, I was going to say, you can't say.
Up.
Well, no, they were up the front of the riots.
But the last third of it is, it has a certain amount of emotion or whatever, which I'm sure is greater if you were actually into it.
Yeah.
But it kind of comes out of nowhere, and from just a story point of view, it's kind of,
Yeah.
Oh, that's the end. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just doesn't quite fit in.
Yeah.
And I know that's what happened.
That's what happened.
They had to tell that.
No, I'd agree with you in that it did lull a bit in the middle. I thought it started strong, and I actually thought it finished strong as well.
Yeah.
But in the middle, I was sort of a bit, okay. Especially after their show in Detroit.
Yeah.
Because that was such a high point.
Yeah.
It's just, that was fucking cool. Do you remember what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's where they have a dispute with cops. Cops refuse to provide. Well, they actually don't show it in the movie, but they refuse to provide security because they were going to sing "Fuck the Police," and they sit them down beforehand and go,
"What did you say, boy?"
Yeah, you can't sing this. And they were just like, "Yeah, you done? Yeah. So what are we going to do? We're going to sing this song, But when they do it, it's got such, it's so powerful that scene. But even because of the song and the crowd and everyone knows it, and it's great. That's a real high point for me, the highlight. Yeah. So.
All right.
What do you think of the music? Did you go back and listen to any of Straight Outta Compton, the original?
Yeah, I did listen to it.
Yeah, even the first 4 tracks.
Yeah.
Just like legendary.
It's just
not
thing.
for you? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
I'm sure there's millions of people who disagree with me vehemently.
Yeah. You don't have any Dre albums then, though?
No, not knocking around.
Okay,
don't even own any Beats.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Is there any more to say on this?
No, I was just wondering if Mark had an opinion.
Mark?
Well, I had a bit of an incident when I watched this. So I was in the cinema, set up with my no popcorn and my diet of the Diet Coke. And I only smell it. I don't actually drink the Diet Coke, obviously. And about 40 minutes less, probably maybe 30, 35 minutes into it, I had to leave
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
due to unforeseen circumstances. No, everybody was fine. There was nothing wrong. But to make a long story short, I am poorly qualified to talk about this film. But that hasn't ever really stopped me before. So my view was that they did a really good job. And Mike, you've said some of this already, so forgive me if I'm repeating, but the setting was set up really quickly and well. I thought that the time and place was very immersive. Characterization was good. They're all established really quickly. By the time I left, though, now remember, like, I have absolutely no clue about anything that happens in the world unless it impacts like video games.
Right. Yeah.
So I was there where the point of this movie is. But at the same time, and people watching us on YouTube could get more benefit from this, like, I was doing this with the guys in the film. For every song, my head was bopping.
Yeah.
And I was kind of going, I never knew that I liked this music. So as a musical film, it was certainly working for me. And a couple of times I got to see them once or twice on stage, and I really enjoyed those scenes. I thought that they conveyed, well, to someone who has no idea what we're talking about or what NWA stood for, I thought it was a wrestling thing. But to poorly educated fellow like myself, it seemed like they were conveying the kind of energy that I imagined that group had when they were on stage, which is pretty good. So it was shipping up really well. When it comes out on DVD, I look forward to seeing the rest of it. But I didn't really see enough where I can comment on the work as a whole.
Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. As Paul Giamatti said in the movie, what's NWA stand for? Is no whites allowed? No. Okay, let's mark this.
Okay.
The floor is yours, Mike.
The floor is mine. Yes, you're never getting it back. I think for the intended audience, they're going to love it.
Oh, yeah.
They love the music. It's really well done, and they're not even going to notice the problems with the story.
Yeah.
So if you're into it, this is probably an 8, and definitely go and see it. If you're kind of on the fence and you don't really know much about it and you're not really that into the music, it's probably a 5.
Yeah.
There are big problems with the story.
Yeah.
But that's easily covered over if you love the music. So
Yeah. So your number is?
I said 5.
Oh, you said so. If you're not into it, 5. Okay, I was just like confirming, Mike.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was super excited about this.
Remember,
I was talking about it for ages.
Yeah,
Blah, blah, it's out next week.
Never stop going on about it.
But like I said, it was the middle-ish bit. Well, late middle. It was sort of okay, moving on. So it wasn't a perfect movie, but it was very, very enjoyable. Really enjoyed the music. Yeah. I give it a solid 7.
Okay.
It doesn't quite make the 8, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good. Yeah. It's good. Yeah, check it out.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we've got a rogue cat here somewhere in the house. Where is he? I hear him meowing. Oh, here he comes. Yeah.
So professional.
I know.
So professional here.
I know. It's
How did a rogue cat get into the Is It a Bicycle studio?
It's our podcast.
I mean, through all that soundproofing.
It's the podcast. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about Significant Mother, first of our TV. Mark.
So, have you ever had the misfortune of walking in on 2 people that you know about to or in the middle of having sex? Because I know I have, not always by accident. But imagine how bad that would be if one of the people involved was your mother.
Oh, Jesus.
And to make it worse, the other person involved.
Yeah.
Well, would it be worse if he was your dad or not as bad? I don't know. But anyway, imagine it's not your dad. Imagine it's like your best friend. The nightmare scenario for many people, aka best friend Bones' mom, is what this TV show is all about. And that's how it starts, and that is the catalyst for most of what happens in the first episode that we watched. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Significant Mother.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot more to this, really, is there? That's the joke.
Well, my wife posed a very relevant question when we finished the episode.
Yeah.
She goes, "What do they do next week?"
I was going to say, is there a season of this? Like, do they keep getting caught, and is it always awkward? And does the dad get, annoyed? That kind of thing.
Yeah, as a premise, you don't get multiple seasons out of that, don't you not?
Like an episode of Friends, maybe, something like that. The one where, Chandler shags Joey's mother or something, know.
Well, what I would have gone for there is the one where Chandler shags the sister.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
They got multiple seasons out of that, in fact. Yeah. But it's fine when you can just make a joke about it and then move on and do other stuff, whereas they don't really have that option. So, here's my thinking on where they go with this.
Okay.
So this is essentially a love story, a forbidden love story, the kind we all love. We know that there's something inherently creepy about somebody's mom being with her kid's friend. But they're going to try and make it work in a world where the relationship is wrong. Two star-crossed lovers try and make a go of it in a 22-minute sitcom.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be just the whole love story. And of course, you know who I like in it? I like the divorced sort of dad. He seems like a bit of crack. You could have a drink with that guy and have fun. Because he's completely self-absorbed and oblivious to his self-absorption and completely unapologetic. And you know what? Unapologetic people are fucking funny. So I should probably say that I laughed at this episode. Like, I was looking at it going, you do not have a season in this.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed watching it. And that's important. I think the only kind of weak link maybe was the son. I think everybody else was fairly okay.
Yeah.
I think the son needs a bit of time to grow into the role.
Well, but he was nearly stereotypical kind of crappy sitcom kind of guy. Yeah. He could have been in Will and Grace, that kind of way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and there's always an element to that at the start of any sitcom. They're all kind of stereotypes at the start. I just didn't get it off the rest of them. Even the dad, who was a typical, typical deadbeat husband who doesn't care about the wife until someone else notices her. He didn't come across as a stereotype, but we all know these people,
Yeah.
So, it's not the worst thing I've seen on TV.
No, it's not the worst. I've seen Celebrity Big Brother, so for sure it's not the worst. Look at the face on that. Jeez, he's not impressed at that comment. I thought the joke initially was funny, and there wasn't a whole lot more. Like we said earlier, there isn't a whole lot more. I don't know how they're going to flesh it out. If they do, it's a masterstroke.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll be watching more of this. Mike?
That's fucking appalling. Jesus Christ. Mark actually did a good job of nearly convincing me.
Did he? Yeah. Jesus, actually, he's got a point there. Yeah,
it was well argued.
I hadn't thought about it that way.
You liked it, Mike?
Yeah, I just watched it, and 30 seconds into it, I said, "Okay, they're doing the Stifler joke. What's next?"
All right,
and that was it. It just went downhill from there. I didn't like any of the characters. I thought it was really, really, really staged, and weak writing. They didn't really give us any hooks. The dad maybe has the bad husband thing going, but I didn't feel like I knew any of the characters.
Not even Krista Allen?
Krista Allen?
Yeah.
No.
No, you didn't know her, no?
Krista Allen, no.
All right. I'm surprised, Mike.
she was overdressed.
I see, yeah. So Rotten Tomatoes agrees with you, Mike. It's 25%.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I write Rotten Tomatoes.
All right. So, filler for me.
Yeah. That's all you have to say about it.
yeah. No, I sort of gave the roundup. I just don't see where it's going to go. And it had one joke. Mm-hmm. You know, like Mark said, it's not the worst thing we've seen, but I'm not going to watch any more of it.
Yeah. I mean, if they'd even beaten the crap out of each other or something.
I know, been really upset. Yeah.
I just wanted to see the young lad bleed. I don't know why.
Mark, where are you sitting on this?
You know, I'm tempted to give this thriller just out of curiosity.
Right.
So I tell you what, I will take an action for the podcast that I've done many times before with many ill-fated shows, and I'm going to watch another episode for you guys.
Okay.
You're a brave
Because
man.
I think our public needs to know if Significant Mother can live the promise that I have dreamed for it.
Episode 2 is called Mixed Doubles. Wait
I may regret this, but ask me about it next week.
Episode 3 is called Who's Your Daddy?
Oh dear.
Yeah. So
Anyway, thriller for me, Steve. I'm going to
Thriller.
give episode 2 a go.
Okay, the last movie we looked at this week was Agent 47. And this is Rupert Friend, who we know from
Homeland.
Homeland. Thank you, Jeepers. Yeah, and he is a genetically engineered assassin, essentially, and he is got unparalleled strength, speed, and intelligence.
Wow. Imagine what he could do with that.
And a black suit. Yeah. Stamina as well apparently is pretty high up on the list there too. So his target is a corporation that are trying to unlock the code that built him, and create an even better version of him, an army of him, to go and...
His target's pretty unclear, though, right?
Yeah, it's just like a corporation thing. They mustn't
The start
get
of the film, we
code.
don't actually know who he's after. There's a whole plot there that you could have just unraveled a little bit.
I think if you watch the trailer, it's pretty obvious. And
The secrets you've just revealed are only shown to the audience in the last 15 minutes.
No, I didn't mention that one.
Well, I don't know. I think plot is kind of a strong word to use.
It might be, yeah. It might be. It might be. But they do make an attempt.
They fucking ruined it on me.
They do make an attempt to obfuscate who the hitman's actual target is. An effort not replicated on this podcast, obviously.
So he hooks up with a stunningly beautiful girl who helps him in his endeavors. That's pretty much it. A lot of Matrix style stuff going on here.
Yeah, beautifully synopsized, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what you think, Mike?
This was actually worse than Significant Mother.
No.
I don't even know you anymore.
Get out. I know it's your house, but get out.
You can't kick me out on the fucking coon. I fucking told you. 3 weeks ago we reviewed the trailer for this, and I said to you this is going to be shite.
Yeah.
And I was proved right. Brutally proved right by being forced to have to watch it. Basically, you have this guy with all the charisma of a fucking Terminator.
I'm going to have to look back through the tapes and get that bit where you said that and edit it in now.
Okay.
And we'll see who's lying and who's not.
So, as I said,
There we just heard Mike going, I
think
can't fucking wait for this.
I think I've just proved myself right here. Yeah, I'm basking now in self-indulgence.
Okay, go
But
on.
Timothy Oliphant wasn't in it, and sorely missed. So yeah, you got a hitman.
This is based on a computer game, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
With zero charisma. The action was shite. It was like a really terrible Matrix. There's absolutely no, there's no fear for a character who's basically invincible. it doesn't matter how many ninjas they throw at him, he's going to shoot them in the head, so.
It's a bit like watching a superhero movie.
Yeah, more or less. And then, he's, excuse me, he's got this female friend thing, co-star, and she's a special girl.
Yes.
She's not a hitman as such, but she's special.
A hit person.
Yeah. And one of her specialities is that she's supposed to be super clever. Mm-hmm. But she spends most of the movie saying, "I don't understand." And after about the fifth time she said that, I just wanted to claw the screen. Shut up! Shut up!
So not up your street then?
No, and I mean, I have a good track record. I like in action movies.
Yeah.
But this is not B-movie. They obviously spent some money on it.
Yeah.
There's loads of Audis that they just blow up randomly.
Yeah, it's very shiny, actually. Yeah.
So, I mean, had this been made by the Sci-Fi Channel or even Comedy Central, I probably would have given it a bit of leeway. But
I really don't even fucking know you anymore.
Mark, I'm getting this strong impression that somehow you disagree.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear what Mark thinks of this.
Right, so as you're aware, I'm on a bit of a diet at the moment. Right, I'm cutting, as they say in the bodybuilding word. Mm-hmm. But I knew I had a cinema trip coming up for this podcast. And when I do the cinema trip, I like to enjoy it with, some food. Mm. But obviously I couldn't bring very much food. So I found myself some dried beef biltong. Piri-piri flavour, actually, which is my favourite. 100 grams, no more, though possibly a little less. And I got to the cinema, and then I gazed longingly at my wife and at my wife's popcorn, which is roughly the size of my upper body. And I realized that there was going to be a severe deficit in when the film finished and when I stopped eating. So I decided to play a little game with myself to keep the food right toward the end, because I like to finish eating at the end of the second act, because quite often the second act is sad. You need food to get you through it. But everything's going to be all right in the third act, at least in all the films I watch it will. So it's fine if you don't have anything to eat. So I decided that every time somebody would die, I would have a piece of beef. At times I was eating very, very quickly. And at other times I wasn't eating at all. And that's not a bad synopsis of the film either. So, I don't know what your problem is, Mike. You and I like honest to goodness action films where lots of people get killed in bizarre and unusual ways, quickly by people with skills.
Yes.
What is your problem with this film? That is exactly what it is.
There are always people with skills and good lines.
If Timothy Oliphant was saying those lines, you'd have had no fucking problem with it.
That's because he's got charisma.
The Homeland Boy was good, though.
He wasn't.
He's no Timothy Oliphant, but Timothy Oliphant wasn't always Timothy Oliphant. He had to grow into it. And that's what this lad is doing now. He's growing. Only for the likes of you standing there sneering at him.
Well, he wanted to be going on a fucking dirty butt like to get that growing in.
So look at anyway. I knew what I was getting when I went in to see Agent 47. Obviously, when I made a kind of a drinking game of sorts for it, only involving beef rather than alcohol, because alcohol is 7 calories per gram. Nobody can afford that. But I think it delivered on what a Hitman movie should be. I liked the presentation. I thought everything looked really good. I liked the way everything that was red was brilliantly red. From his tie to the red-coloured car of some type that I don't know. Yeah. And things that weren't red weren't quite as bright. I thought maybe that was just in my brain, but I thought it was a decision on the style department. I thought the interaction between the two main characters was a little bit on the weak side. They weren't really sure what they were to each other for a long time. And that played as kind of nothing to each other rather than confusion. And, you know, I'm not going to say too much more because I don't want to spoil what the actual relationship winds up being. But they could have gone one way and then reversed it, you know, or just been not sure what they were supposed to do. But instead, they were nothing. He was this guy, this robot around her. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why you miss Timothy Olyphant too, is because Timothy knows how to get mad real good. We've seen him doing it as Raylan Gibbons. We saw him doing it even more in Deadwood. He was even better at it in that show. But it wouldn't have hurt if the hitman occasionally got a bit more into it. And when the time came when he needed to, didn't feel an awful lot of heat from him. But look at lads, it's a hitman film, right? You're not going in there looking for, like, can you imagine if somebody photoshopped BAFTA award winning or Tribeca Film Festival, Agent 47? You know, like, that is not what you're going in there to see.
Yeah,
you don't expect something that's going to make you examine an area of your life or an area of the world, or, you know, that's not what you're there for, man.
You want to see people killed.
Just one thing. What about the crappy kung fu fighty stuff?
Again, it's a brain at the door thing. It's based on a video game.
Yeah, but there's so much better fighty stuff out there now.
Yeah, that's true.
This was like a throwback to the early 90s.
It was, right, but that was refreshing because everything is Casey fighting system now. Since Batman Begins, you can only use the Casey fighting system in films. Like, that's all you can use. It has to be really close. Elbows, heads, knees, occasionally punch, but only while you're closing the distance. You know? Oh, Batman! And that's what they all do. Like, that's what Liam Neeson does in Taken. And nearly, like, there's so many films that do that. Like, it's good to see something different. It's one of the things I like about Jason Statham at the moment. He's sticking to his more traditional roots.
See, I was just watching this, thinking to myself, would he not just smash an ashtray over somebody's head? That's all I want to see in a movie these days.
Yeah.
Break a chair over his face. Yeah.
We need to review a Western for you, Mike.
Yeah, for sure, actually, yeah.
So, look, I don't know what you guys think I'm building up to with this review. I don't think it was the greatest film in the world, but I know that I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
Whether or not it was because of my When a Person Dies game.
Yeah.
When a Person Die beef, I should call that game.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So, what mark would you give it?
I think it's a 4.
A 4. You know what? I'm right there with you. For sure, it's a 4. I don't think Mike would agree, though. But
no, I think it was... I still can't believe you've given it a 4 after trying to defend it so solidly.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm saying I enjoyed it. And that it delivers on what it says it's going to be. We debated with Shona a while back about when things try to be something and fail at it, we should be harsh with them. Well, this didn't do that.
Wow.
No.
This
is the best 4 you've seen in ages.
Yeah.
That is a fine way of putting
it's
it,
like
Michael.
the B-movie 2 scale.
Yeah. And that's a good thing to bring up because I've seen many B movies I've enjoyed far more than this. So
I don't know what's wrong with you.
I'm going to kick this to touch with a shocking 2.
Wow.
We're not shocked.
All right.
You just compromised your own identity, Michael.
Right. And next up we'll go and talk about some previews. Coming to a bicycle near you. All right, we have 3 again this week. Can I remember what they are?
Well, Steve, I haven't seen any of these, right?
Right, so we're going to tell you all about them.
You're going to tell me
Yeah.
from the trailer whether you think I should watch the film.
Okay, the first one is The Fifth Wave.
I like it already. Tell me more.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
Is it a sequel to The Fourth Wave?
It's about people surviving a post-apocalyptic kind of situation, but the post-apocalypse... What is the apocalypse? Aliens.
Well.
They've come to attack America again.
Do you
Not
remember?
my favorite apocalypse, but, you know.
Do you remember the show with the Skitters?
I'm still watching it, Mike. It's called Falling Skies.
That's right. Yeah. Well, this is basically the movie version of Falling Skies, but it doesn't have Noah in it. But it's got other people.
I'm okay. Like, Noah Wiley's great, but...
I think you'll really appreciate the first 4 waves.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the 5th wave is the one that the rest of the movie's about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Production values? What are we talking about? Is it B movie or?
Oh, no, I'd say they
budget?
spent a shit ton of money on this.
It's kind of San Andreas-y, kind of, there's going to be a lot of CGI and stuff, But, yeah, Brain at the Door looks like fun. A lot of people in it you'd know. Leave, what's his name? Shriver.
Yeah.
Is that his name? Yeah. Chloe Gracie Moretz and a few others like that. Yeah. So there's some names in it.
Yeah, I was really getting into this while I was watching this.
Yeah.
And then just one little thing. They said, we have to go and rescue my brother.
I know.
I was like,
Was that the scene with Ron Livingston?
I can't remember.
It's just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So does it? Yeah, that's the only thing. There's always got to be this.
Yeah. Fucking heart-rending fucking human story. Jesus Christ. Why can't they just...
Hold on, Mike. Jesus, what happened to you in the last week, right? Agent 47 had no heart-rending human story. It served up gore and people dying left and right, but Mike is there going, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. I preferred Significant Mother. Right?
That was an aesthetic problem.
Oh, it was aesthetics. Was it aesthetics now?
They didn't fight proper.
Look at, I don't know. I don't know how any of our listeners can recognize your view as having any merit when you've compromised your own integrity and reversed it again now when we're talking about trailers. What happened to you, Mike?
He's only here for the comic relief. Look, we knew that. Knew that from day one. Yeah, so the second one we looked at. This one Mike's going to love. It's called The Danish Girl. This has Eddie Redmayne in it. Do you remember Eddie Redmayne? From the... What was it called?
A Beautiful Sausage.
What was it called? A Beautiful... No, it wasn't A Beautiful Mind. What was it called? The one he got the... Did he get an Oscar for it last year?
The Imitation Train.
No, it wasn't that one either. What do you call it? It's the one about...
The Stephen Hawking one.
Stephen Hawking movie.
Yeah.
Was it called Hawking?
It's called Stephen
Theory
Does
of
Debbie.
Everything.
Theory of Everything. Thank you. Yeah. The original one with Benedict Cumberbatch was Hawking, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's in it. Alicia Vikander and Amber Heard are in this, and it tells the story of a transgender pioneer. So Eddie gets married, and then sort of sees the missus's clothes and sort of going, oh, they're kind of fucking nice. Oh, let's try that on. Oh, there's a bit of makeup. Oh, yeah, nice. And then she discovers it, and she's going to, oh, okay, I love you, so let's explore this. And so then he starts going out in public as Lily. And eventually he goes under the knife for some sort of an operation. They didn't go into too much detail in the trailer about this.
I think that was a cure.
Oh, Jesus. No, Mike.
Mark my words, Steve.
No, Mike. No.
This is the early 20th century.
So, anyway, yeah, so that's what it's about. Mark, I think you might be made to watch this, but I'm not so sure Mark would like it.
Is this like Crying Gamey or it's not like that?
No, not really. It's about
It's like a Crying Game without the tension.
It's about a journey of struggle and discovery of one man or of a woman trapped inside a man's body. Essentially. Yeah.
So the surgery to cure him is they actually sewed on 5 extra cocks.
I apologize to any listener having been offended by Michael's comments. And if you have been offended, then you can call 1892 Mike Stress.
It exists. So the last one we looked at was Macbeth.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, I thought Mike would like this. Macbeth, the Duke of Scotland. I'll read this out, will I? From IMDb. Receives a prophecy from a trio of witches that one day he will become King of Scotland. Consumed by ambition and spurred to action by his wife, Macbeth murders his king and takes the throne for himself. I can't wait for this.
You can't imagine how fucking pumped I am for this.
Are you really? But I think Mark's going to like this too because it's an epic and it's got like epic stuff, like army fights.
Yeah.
A bit like Lord of the Rings.
I have an important question.
Yes.
Does it use Shakespearean dialogue?
Yep.
Well, then I'm all the way in.
Nice.
Can't wait to see it.
Did you watch the Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah, with
Make
Leonardo
Yeah,
DiCaprio.
yeah. Did you enjoy
Yeah, I
that?
love that film.
Okay, great. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like they've basically taken the text and then done a whole Braveheart, Lord of the Ringsy kind of
Yeah.
money on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be cool.
Yeah. It looks good, all right. That's it this year, I think, as well.
Not soon enough.
Yeah. Let me see, is the release date? No, it doesn't say there. It's 2015. Yeah. But yeah, it looks great. It looks great. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this. Yeah.
In a very low-key sort of a way.
Yeah. I still have a little element of doubt about it, but kind of excited about it.
Yeah.
Reluctantly excited. So yeah, that's it for this week. That's everything. Yeah. We missed Sean this week. He got held up. I got a text say that he got held up in a meeting, and I don't know if he was selling blood or something as well. I don't know. I told him just 1 liter this week, and I'll just go back next week.
I mean, who can keep track?
I know. So that's it, yeah. So from Mike, Mark, and Steve, stay classy.